Spider-Man finds himself spinning into the web of lawsuits faster than just about every hero on the planet. Recently, there's been suing, countersuing, and more that's hit the doorstep of Disney and Marvel. And through everything that's going on, we have now learned an important piece of crucial detail in regards to the rights to Spider-Man. And this gets really complex. So without boring you with a lot of nonsense, I'm just going to kind of break this down easily on what exactly would happen and what exactly this means. And this part has nothing to do with Spider-Man specifically, but it ties to him and many other characters, just about everything ever created. And that's, of course, the free use of characters, aka public domain. After a certain amount of time, every single thing that's ever been created enters public domain. That's just how it is. So by the end of this decade, for example, Disney can bring in a character called Superman and make their own Superman movie as part of the MCU. Yes, that's what it means to have public domain. We've recently seen this trend of people celebrating that Disney is going to have to give up the Mickey Mouse brand, or at least the Mickey Mouse name and the original version, to public domain, but they don't realize that's just part for the course. People are trying to celebrate what is literally going to happen. Now, something interesting that happened is Disney should have already given up Mickey Mouse to public domain. But in the late 90s, they argued to the courts that they should be able to hang on to the character for another few decades. And due to Disney and what they were demanding, public domain was extended. And the irony in this is, when that was extended, at the time Disney did not know, but a decade and a half from then, there would be no legal battle over Spider-Man. Had they not extended the Mickey Mouse and the public domain thing, they would actually just outright own Spider-Man right now. Which brings us to today's topic of discussion, and the brand new lawsuit updates that we're discovering from the Ditko estate. Essentially, Marvel is set to lose the rights to Spider-Man in June of 2023. Now again, this is going to be a long and legal and messy process. Inevitably, Spider-Man will be public domain. There is nothing Disney or anybody can do about it. Just like Batman is going to enter public domain. Superman, everything that's ever been created enters public domain. Which is why we get some of those weird years where you're like, why is there like 2 versions of Peter Pan on film? Or 2 Jungle Books? Like, what is going on? Well, public domain. So we are going to get to that point in the next 15 to 20 years where Marvel and DC characters are entering public domain and the rival can use them. Now, if Disney is going to fight this, is going to be interesting because what the Ditko estate wants is a little bit more. Like, essentially they would, and from my understanding, this still isn't made fully clear, they would want to regain the character outright and then shop them elsewhere and possibly prevent the version that's existed in Marvel from continuing. But again, the language here is so complex and so jargon and nonsensical that it's going to take a little bit more clearing up. But this could get really interesting, and depending on what decision is made and how they battle this, this would have a huge ripple effect on everything. We're not just talking Spider-Man. Like, we are talking every single thing that exists that's an IP that's going to enter public domain, because once somebody is granted something like that, or it expires and they can somehow make a claim to it and could possibly win, it's going to be nonstop flood of more of these lawsuits and more filings and more legal jargon that could literally change the face of entertainment. And we've seen it to a smaller scale with digital releases and films, but this right here would be astronomical. Like, we're talking changing the face of how entertainment operates going forward. And funny enough, it would all be around Spider-Man. So let's just wait and see what mess happens next.